became relevant to the Western culture in the 18th century. It was mostly through the Rococo art that Chinese calligraphy came to Paris and to Italy. In the style, it is easy to understand how this form of calligraphy was used by the painter François Boucher, who put a lot of ideograms into wallpapers and other wonderful forms of decoration and interior design and furniture. In Italy, the same was very important for the architect and painter Luigi Vanvitelli in the Reggia, the royal palace of Caserta, where it is possible to find a sensational Chinese pavilion full of Chinese calligraphies. 20th century used Chinese calligraphies in a more complete way, not just in a decorative sense. It started this way of getting a relationship with Eastern models with the avant-garde in Paris at the beginning of the 20th century. Pablo Picasso said in a late interview that he should have liked to be a Chinese calligrapher because Chinese calligraphy was a form of art that satisfied entirely his visions. And he used Chinese calligraphies especially in his youth, from the time in which he became relevant and prominent in Barcelona and in his first times in Paris. The same Chinese calligraphies were important for Henri Matisse, who put them in some of the first paintings in the time where his paintings were considered the only possible to be liked from the conservative critics in the first exhibitions of the expressionist painters called from critics the fauve, that means the wild animals. Most important was the impact of Chinese calligraphy in United States. In 1908, the American scholar Ernest Fenollosa, who had been to China for most of his life, wrote a small book very influential called Chinese Ideograms as a Way of Poetry. That was a major inspiration for Ezra Pound and his cantos, where he put ideograms where he thought that Western languages could be enough expressive. And is it possible to find Chinese calligraphy in many important artists in the United States in the 20th century, between them Mark Tobey, who was very fond of this discipline and he studied it in America and then in China, and Philip Gaston, master of drawing, and then the great composer John Cage, who understood Chinese calligraphy was the most important inspiration for a new contemporary music.